Hello and welcome back to Colorado Views. I am Michael.
And I'm Jennifer.
And we're glad to have you guys back here. We're here for another week of good news and some information.
Absolutely.
And definitely want to say again, we want your feedback.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us today for Colorado Views. And, you know, it could be in the morning, afternoon, or night that you're joining us. So we just have a lot of things that we want to cover today. This is our second podcast. So, guys, bear with us, but we want your feedback. Like, I've asked several people, I've sent our podcast on to people. I'm like, we want your both positive and negative feedback. We're working on the lighting. We're working on a few other things because this is the first time we're doing this, but we want to hear from you guys. You know, how can we do this better? What would make it look better? What would make it sound better? What are you wanting out of this as well? And so I asked people and they're like, no, everything looks good. I'm like, no, I want
Exactly.
We want feedback. We want to know how we can change things to make things better. So we would kind of want to do a recap of last week's show, just because it was our first one. What did you think about it?
I thought it went great.
I thought it was awesome.
For our first time, I think it went really well.
It was really good.
So let's every time do at least 1% better than the last one.
Exactly. Well, and we adjusted where we're sitting and where our microphones are. So hopefully all of that will contribute to a really great show. For me, I thought it was really great. I did get some really good feedback from my oldest son, and it just helped me because I felt like he was so encouraging. He was like, well, maybe you could do this or that, but this is what I found that was positive. And that helped me to be able to say, okay, we're doing a good thing. We're coming in here with positive things, events coming up. We're including the whole community, left and right, up and down, everywhere, to be a part of this podcast. So I needed to hear that. It's good to have, obviously it's good to have the negative feedback too, because then you correct that to make it better the next time. And like Michael is saying, 1% more, 1% better the next time. So I thought it was. Did you get any feedback from anybody?
I did get really good feedback from everybody.
Good.
Everybody lied to me and said I have a radio voice, which I know I do not have a radio voice. But they were very sweet to lie to me.
Yes.
So I'll go with that. I'll take that as good news.
Exactly.
But we do want to hear from you guys, and we actually want to hear your stories too. So if you've been touched by Aftersight before, or any other service that's out there, because we want to do it here at the organization. We're redoing our website a little bit, but we want to add those really quality service providers to our webpage so that they're there for you and everybody else that needs it here in Colorado and wherever our voices reach. So we definitely want that. So the feedback line is the best way for you guys to get to us that way.
It really is. Well, and another reason, I mean, like some people think, well, my story doesn't matter. And I always remember kind of on a more in the religious field, like when you say you share your testimony, some people say, well, I don't really have a testimony, because they think it has to be so drastic and so in order to share it. But everybody's life has some kind of testimony or story that nobody else has.
Exactly.
The way you were raised, the situations that you face as a kid, the challenges that you face as an adult. How did you face those? What are some of the resources that you found out there that you can use? That's one of the things that we'd like to cover even in the future as well, is we are connected with other places that have resources that we can't offer. But we don't know what those needs are unless you tell us. And also, those stories, those testimonies, the stories encourage other people. So what I would like to put out to our listeners, sighted, blind, low vision, is that your story matters and we want to hear it. And even if it has a sad ending, okay, but we'd like that we are coming together to share and celebrate the good things that are happening. You came maybe from something that was difficult, but you were able to overcome it in a certain way. And you doing that can encourage somebody else.
Oh yeah, everybody thinks that they're alone.
Exactly.
When you're really not. Yeah. So, spend time and connect with people in good times and in bad times, because you learn from both of them.
Exactly.
So that commonality, that thing in common where you might not think that anybody else is going through the same thing as you are, or it's in a different way, or it's a different place or different time in life or age or whatever, it's still the commonality, and you're still going to go through some stuff that is the same as other people. And so that information and that education and learning that they get from those changes and bad times and good times that they go through is invaluable to pass on to other people. That's why I think that storytelling was really big, way back before, and we didn't have, TikTok and all these cool things out there. And so it was just word of mouth. So that still works, and that's still effective, to use your mouth to tell people the story that you've been through, or your grandma, or your neighbor, or whoever it is. I get to be in places and events with people face to face a lot, and to have that person that lives next door to somebody to say, oh my God, you can actually affect my neighbor because my neighbor's in need and they're low vision, or, they can no longer read printed word or whatever it is. That's an awesome thing to do. And I think we're so busy nowadays that it's really hard to connect and so quickly. And when I'm at an event with 300 people, you don't actually get to be here for an hour or an hour and a half or whatever, talking about stuff. And you only get that little passing 3 minutes or 2 minutes or whatever, but still it's a connection. So nobody's by themselves. We're all here together, suffering and celebrating and doing all that stuff together. So we want to hear that from you.
It's so true. I was thinking, even as Michael was talking, is that my daughter is on YouTube, and she has a huge story to tell that continues to affect people, of how she had difficulties with her health and how she had a partial thyroidectomy and all these things and her testimony, his story of that. Like, she did one video on that, thousands of views. Now, again, we're not here to get all the views. We're here so that what we share touches somebody else. And I know her testimony, her story has touched thousands of lives. We want to do the same thing here. And it's kind of like we're going to kind of recap our week that it's been a busy week. Like, I feel like last Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we were at something. He was supposed to be on vacation, people.
I was on vacation last week. So
we put that in quotations, people, vacation. So one of the things is I'm the publications manager here at Aftersight, and I was going through a publications because we're trying to figure out what we're reading. Do the listeners want it? Making sure it's up-to-date content. And I came across this thing that was, I shouldn't say thing, but this advertisement in the Summit Daily, and it was about a short film that they were going to show up in Silverthorne. And I'm like, okay, first of all, where's Silverthorne? Oh, I got to go. Not just because of Silverthorne, it was beautiful up there in the mountains, but it was talking about publications and journalists and editors and the struggles that they face. So we kind of want to give a recap of that, because we'd like to do a screening of this short film. What were your takeaways from this, called Truth Be Told?
It was really, really cool. So I was on vacation, but Jennifer asked if I would go with her. So I went, and it totally was well worth the drive and stuff like that. But it was really, really interesting to see all the different views. So the movie is really, really cool if you guys can see it anywhere, because they're trying to play it everywhere that they can. But it was really, really cool to hear all these different ways that it's changed for journalists to report news, and how overwhelming the fake news is, and all the platforms that people get their news on. It's not, like back in the day, the family gathered around the radio to listen to the radio. It's nothing like that. So they've got all these platforms and TikTok and all these things. And so people are reporting all these different things, accidents and fires and floods and all these things. And they don't have that training, and they don't have actually the access to the firefighters or the Red Cross or whoever could be there helping out, or the authorities are trying to evacuate people or whatever. And these people are, reporting, and they're becoming journalists, but, it's on their cell phone and stuff. And so a lot of times, a lot of the important information that should be out or listened to, because with the low vision and blind, they're listening with their ears. So they're not seeing it, and they're not seeing the scrolling ticket tape on the bottom of the screen saying that their area has to be evacuated or anything like that. They're hearing it. So if the neighbor is telling them all the wrong information about it, that we're good, we're no in danger or whatever, that is a danger. And so to see how the journalists now are trying to change the way that they're reporting, which is kind of in in a bad way, they have to have another thing on their plate to try to make sure that the information that they're getting is truthful and accurate and things like that. So it's just an added thing onto being at the fire or being at the the emergency or whatever it is and reporting on that, or being at the Capitol. But if you're getting your information from the person across the street at the park that you just said hello to, which could be wrong. It's this big, huge thing. But to listen to them and to listen to them how they are just taking to task and just like, well, it's just another part of our job that we have to do. And they keep trying to report the best kind of and accurate news that they possibly can. But to have that big group of people all together and they're all in the same plane or whatever with fake news and how they need to report it and stuff like that. Yeah. But it was really, really cool. I had a fantastic time, and I'm not in the publications, obviously, but even being that, it was extremely interesting to see all these journalists, and the movie was fantastic.
It was fantastic. They just gave it such a human touch to it. And I really love, because a lot of the journalists that were in the film were personally there. So different people from the Colorado Sun, Matt Renault from 9 News was there, Phil Lindman from Crystal 93 News Director, Nicole Miller, who is the Summit Daily News publisher. I'm like, hey, Nicole, it's Jennifer, face to face, getting to know people. So, we as Aftersight would like to do a screening of that at some point. But one of the things that brought to my attention with this film is that if we're to show it to the blind and low vision community, it needs audio description, because in between when they're not speaking, there's different places that they're filming. Well, for the blind and low vision community, that needs to be audio described. They're in the mountains. We're looking at the building of where that news station is located, things like this, where to keep our audience, our community completely connected to that, to the film. So that's a possibility in the future. I'm going to be reaching out to Brian Malone, who is the producer of The Truth Be Told, and let's see what happens. If anybody has a connection out there, point them our way. What was our next event on the Friday? Wait, hold on. Thursday, we're in Silverthorne. Friday, where was I? We can't remember what we ate yesterday.
We actually, one of our listeners and one of our I don't even know what to talk about. So Robert, he's one of our
Robert Lamb.
He's very active with us, and he's at our hikes and things like that. And his dog, the best part, don't tell him, his dog Fletcher. So he actually is graduated. He graduated from Colorado State University up in Fort Collins. So he invited us all as Aftersight family to go up there and witness him getting his diploma and his degrees and stuff like that. So it was really, really cool. So that's where we were on Friday. Okay. And then after that, we had to go because we were having the volunteer coffee meetup in Fort Collins on Saturday. So we went to the coffee shop on Friday to make sure that everything was cool.
Yes.
So we were there too. So then on Saturday.
We went back up to, it's called The Neighbor. It's located on Mason Street, a fantastic coffee shop, really great people. But my volunteers, nobody showed up. Okay, we got to approach this on a different way. But the idea about it was getting together those who are living here in Colorado, who are our volunteer readers, an opportunity to get together, grab a cup of coffee, and just kind of get to know each other. It's kind of like that phrase, disconnect to connect. Yes. We're all connected in some way, shape, or form, whether it be social media, our phones, whatever. But we're disconnecting to come and grab a cup of coffee so that we can connect, but on a different level. So we'll change that up another time. But, Michael was there, I was there, our other volunteer and friend, Chance, was there as well. We made it work.
We did.
We had a good time.
This podcast is about good news. Right. And the good news about it is The Neighbor, the coffee shop, is actually a fantastic venue.
It is.
For some events that we actually do. So we do an art fair, art show. We want to do a couple of different kind of concert type events after that, and it's a fantastic place. So in the north, we found something place to do things that we want to do up there. So that was actually the good.
That's the good
part,
away from
good
it, right?
part about it. Exactly. So that was the good news about it. So stay tuned for all the different events that we have planned to go on there.
And then on Sunday, we had another event. This was with the Denver Philharmonic Orchestra. What I really love about this organization is they make things accessible in so many ways, from how you get into the theater, if there's our Braille program that is typed up beforehand and ready to go for you. The tickets are pay as you, whatever you can pay. If you can't pay anything, just come anyway, or pay what you can so that other people can come on. And so we set up a table. We had our information about who Aftersight is, what we do, how we can reach out to people, whether it be with White Cane Project or services through the audio editions, our podcasts. It was good. We got to talk to a lot of people.
It was really, really good. Awesome. And one cute thing about it is when we first got there to set up, the children were actually playing.
That's true. They were.
We got to hear them, and then there was a small break. So they actually came out and they saw because we give out fruit snacks at our table. So they actually loved those. And that's why they're there. But it was so cool to see them out there with their tubas and their flutes and stuff cute. Like that, all excited because they got to play for their parents and stuff like that. So that was extremely cute. I really like that.
One highlight for me was a family came in. There's two little girls, and of course they wanted this fruit snacks, right? Because little girls don't really know what we're doing. But the parents were like, "Hey, okay, you're going to take the fruit snack, but why don't you ask them why they're here? What are they doing?" So one of the little girls had a book in her hand. I said, "Hey, can I see what book you have?" So she kind of showed it to me, and I opened it up, and it was more kind of one of those comic books. And I said, we're going to start reading more books, but we are reading children's literature. And I opened up the book and I said, "See these little pictures?" I said, "We read what it says, but we also describe the pictures. Like we're going to say," and it was Felix the cat. And so we would say, "Felix says this," and the other one was Little Felix. And so it was just a good opportunity to introduce, I would say she was probably like 6 years old, right? Probably like 6 years old. What we do for the blind and low vision community with books, kids' books, regular books, we're making it in accessible format, audio format for our community. And so not only was she able to eat her fruit snacks, but she was given some information about what we do. And I hope that will stay with her and she'll remember that for the next time. And even the dad said something like, "Oh, well, remember when I read a book for so-and-so?"
Right. So he read a story and he taped it.
He did.
And so he was gone for a couple of weeks because traveling for work or whatever. So every night the mom would play a little chapter or two of the recording to his kids. So they always got to he got to be there to put them to bed.
Right.
He wasn't even there.
That was so cool.
So it was really cool. So many sweet people there. Yeah. It's really cool to just have that interaction with them because they're so sweet. And then right next door to us, we had bikes together. And so they had a thing, which if I would have known, I would have brought my bike. But they actually will repair your bike and fix your bike.
Right.
And they do it, but they show you how to do it. So then you can do it the next time. Yeah, I would have closed my eyes and just had them do it for me. But that's how I am. Yeah. But it was really cool. So hopefully we can partner with them at some of our other outdoor events that we have, like the hike and various things, because it would be awesome to be a vendor that could pass on all their knowledge and stuff like that. So cool. that was really, really cool.
Which they could, speaking of, because we're going to jump into what our upcoming weeks our upcoming events in the week, where he could actually come. But it's a little bit too late now because it's coming up here on the 30th. But first of all, we want to say that the weekend of the Memorial Weekend is coming up to be able to honor and be remembering what Memorial Day is about. And, I didn't bring any information like to read from but I think sometimes we as Americans forget what our holidays are about.
Oh, yes.
it's awesome. We get work off. We get to go on the boat onto the lake. I always think about this. This is where everybody brings out their boats on Memorial Day weekend and has their first picnics.
I don't know. Volleyball nets.
And the volleyball nets and playing soccer, which is awesome. I think that Americans do understand how to come together and do like fun things. But let's not forget why we have this holiday. Why did the government even set it? Or even somebody say, why don't we put this day aside to remember? So it's remembering and honoring those who have fought for our freedom, right? And even the 4th of July, the same thing. We do a lot of fun things, but do we really remember why we are celebrating 4th of July? So it's just another way to remind you all, just kind of step back for a second and remember why Memorial Day is put to the side and what we should do about it. I don't know if there's anything extra that you've done in the past for Memorial Day weekend that is significant. Like, I've been out of the States for so long, I don't even remember right now, but anything for you?
Oh, I've always worked it.
You've always worked Memorial Day weekend?
With the airline industry.
Yeah, that's true.
Planes are always up in the air, and people
true.
are always working and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then this year, I do have an event on Memorial Day on Monday, so I will be working too.
Okay, well.
But yeah, totally. I like honor all our veterans and everybody that's passed, everyone that you want to memorialize and stuff. Yeah. I lost my mother about 3 years ago. It's coming on in September and stuff. So yeah, and I lost my husband 12 years ago. So yeah, it's kind of a thing where honoring, but I don't want to be too sad.
Exactly. Yeah.
Kind of thing. So yeah, go on your boat and play volleyball and have hot dogs and hamburgers and
enjoy the day,
all of that stuff, and just enjoy and love the people that you're with now in this day.
Remembering them. Yeah,
exactly.
I agree with that.
And think about me working on Memorial Day,
right?
So giving out more fruit snacks, but
the day before Memorial Day, no, the 30th before 31st. Yes. Is that right? No. I'm jumping ahead. Anyway, Memorial Day is the 25th, people.
Yes.
That's when our podcast will be coming up anyway, or being put out online. But what we want to do is also talk about May 30th. Okay, now I can jump ahead. Aftersight, along with Foresight, is doing it's not a hike, it's a walk. And I have the information I have a computer screen on the side that I'd like to read a little bit just because I want to make sure you guys get the right information, right? So we are going to be at Cherry Creek State Park, Dixon Grove Picnic Shelter. The closest access says is through the East Park entrance off of Parker Road.
That's true.
So this starts at what time?
9.
9 o'clock. And it kind of gives you a little bit of, preview to it. It's just relaxed and conversational. We're not running. This is not a competition. It's not, who gets up to the whatever post and touches and comes back. It's just an opportunity to get in shape, be with friends, have a conversation.
And be outside.
It might be a little warm, but that's okay.
But it's Colorado. It could be a little snowy.
Exactly. So what are you going to wear when you go? Comfortable walking shoes, appropriate clothing, a hat, and sun protection. We are going to be providing water along the way.
But bring your water bottle.
But yes, definitely bring that so we can fill that up. And then also, we will have a light breakfast, and that's when the check-ins begin at 9 a.m. So we want you to be there in time, but we want you also to register. Don't just show up. We need you to register. Where are we registering at?
On aftersight.org.
Yes.
So just go on there, and I think it's still the biggest
right
thing on our website.
Yes.
When you first go on to aftersight.org, it's the first thing that comes up on it.
Yes.
So register on that. And we are partnering with the adventure guides. And so they're going to be there too. And you'll probably see us, some of us, the staff, and say hello to us around the pathway that we're going to be on. Because I think we might be handing out water, and I'll be standing there with my umbrella and my cool.
So you're not walking?
I'm not walking the whole entire thing. Yeah.
And we're asking for donations, but we are asking for a low cost of $40 because that registration fee helps us with paying for the parking, and helping other people who cannot pay for the walk. We will have sighted guides. There'll be a little bit of training that will be going on between 9 and 10:30, just because if you're a volunteer, we need your help. In different ways. But if you want to be a sighted guide, be up there in time to go through that training as well.
And Jennifer and I, for sure, and I don't know if the other members of the staff would have the time to do it, but we definitely want to talk to you and we want to get your story and why you're there. What was your Memorial Day like? What are you planning for the rest of the summer? What are your big plans? Or you going out of state for, we want all of those stories because we want to pass those stories on and be like, oh my goodness, we met these fantastic people and stuff. Exactly. And then a little side note on there too. If you remember when you bought your license plates here in Colorado, you had that additional fee that you could have paid to get into the state parks and stuff like that. So if you've got that, which I didn't know where to look for that, but it's actually on your printed registration and it tells you that you did it, you get in for free. So
that'd be awesome.
There's not going to be a fee for you to get in if you've got that.
That's perfect. All right. And remember, 10:30 a.m., we're going to hit the trail. Then there's lunch and activities at 12 after you get back. So time to get back from your walk, relax a little bit,
so
and do some
please
activities.
Make it back.
So please make it back. The Lions Club is going to be there. Lions is a huge supporter of Aftersight, our White Cane project, but they also come alongside and they're going to be grilling hamburgers, hot dogs or brats, yummy stuff. Vegan and vegetarian options are going to be available. So we want you to come out and enjoy all of that together. And about 2:30, we'll wrap it up. Anything else on that?
So I'll be out there definitely. And so our White Cane Project, which I'm not sure if we went over that very much last time.
Not very much.
But our White Cane Project, it was inspired and started by our director, Penn Street. So she was seeing a lot of people, which we were seeing a lot of people too, that once they graduated from certain training situations and things like that, or just given a white cane, they weren't instructed on how to use it. And a lot of people think that that's the last cane they'll ever get and stuff like that. And so there was times and days when we would be somewhere if I was out with Penn and somebody had a broken cane or they didn't have a cane or they needed a cane or whatever, she gave them hers. And so she went without a cane for the rest of the day and stuff. But a lot of people will tape it and they'll try to fix it and stuff like that. Well, that's when she started, and she is really, really big into the Lions Club of Colorado. So she spoke to one of the governors, and he's just like, yeah, we could do that. So we provide white navigation canes for people who are in need of them. And so we do the werewolf cane, which is like one of the best canes that I've ever felt. It's really sturdy and stuff like that. And then we have a ton of different tips that you can actually get. So if you're more of a hiker, we have the ball tip, and we have all these different ones and stuff like that. So if you need one, and you can get a new one every single year. So if you need one, if you know somebody that does need one, just go into aftersight.org and we will mail it out to you. We just need to know how long you need it, and that the person what they're going to intend to use it for, if it's just on campus, if it's in the mountains or whatever it is, and we can get that out to them. So we're really, really proud of that because that's one of our number one programs that we have here, and it's been really, really effective. And so all of us go all over the state, and we hear about it all the time that, oh my God, I got my first white cane or the first cane that was usable for me and stuff like that. So
we've sent out how many already?
So I think we're at 117.
117. Now. So think of that times $100 or whatever.
Right. And they are expensive.
Yes, they are expensive.
But we help you out with that.
Incredible.
And we're really, really happy to do that. So I will actually be there, and I will have some canes and some tips for you to check them out and see what might work for you or what might work for your neighbor or anything like that. And any questions. The entire staff is really, really up and knowledgeable about everything that's low vision and blind directed. Yeah. So look for us. We'll be all over the place. You'll know what we look like, and we can point out the rest of the staff too. We should wear our bandanas from the hike.
We should. They'll be orange, right? Orange. They're orange. Look for us.
We'll do that. Everybody will be wearing an orange bandana around their neck or their arm or their leg or wherever they're going to do. And come up and ask us questions and stuff like that. And come up, and more importantly, I hate to harp on it, but tell us what your story is.
I think that's good. And we're kind of almost going to wrap up here, but I think we should really focus on that at this moment, because your story matters.
It does.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you think at the moment that somebody may not really want to hear it, but how would you know unless you say it?
That's right.
And we want those stories. And you know what? One of the other things that how the story helps us is that we can say all the stats. We can say, oh, we've given over 100 canes and we have all these publications and we have all these volunteers. But unless we know the impact that Aftersight is having on the community, it doesn't really mean much. We want to know how we can even do it better. We want to set our standards higher. We want to, if we give you a cane, how does it affect your life? How has it helped you? We have a story of a young man that he used his cane instead of having a service dog with him one day, and it practically saved his life. How was that possible? Well, we'd love for you to hear those stories on our original podcast from the Blind Chick. Was he on just Blind Chick?
He was on the Blind Chick.
He was on the Blind Chick. Check out his story. Those are the kind of things, and we want you to come on. Not only you could come on Colorado Views, and or we have a lot of other podcasts that you may just that could be your niche right there. Your story about how something affected you in your life, how you looked at this resource and how did it help you to overcome whatever challenge you have in your life at the moment or what happened. And so we want those stories. I think that's where we're at.
And if you're affected by the lack of a service,
that too.
So if there isn't a city or a town newspaper,
right,
and you want to hear, the news from your surrounding area,
right,
or whatever it is, transportation's not very good. It's hard for you to get around because of this, or, housing, things like that. And we're in touch with a lot of people who deal with all of those services.
Right.
So we want to hear, so we can pass that on to them and be like, did you know that this is not working there, or this doesn't exist there? So on both sides, how you're affected, let us know. There's no judgment here because we're asking you to judge us, and give us that information and stuff. So,
and if you're not hearing, like, again, going back, I'm just thinking as a volunteer manager in publications, because that's what I think about a lot, is if there's a publication out there or a magazine that you, as in the blind and low vision community, are not able to read, there's nobody going to sit next to you to read it. We can put it into audio format for you. Even if it's I'll just throw something out, a magazine on Legos. Like, we want to be able to read that for you if you're not able to read it, but we don't know if you need it unless you tell us.
Right.
And it could be it contributed to a hobby that you have done or are doing or want to learn, or news in your neighborhood, or maybe it's your community. We're reading a newsletter for Windsor Gardens, and they're a bigger senior living community. And their newsletter is 12 pages long. And we put it into audio format because it's there digitally online, but if you can't read it, then you can hear it because we put it into audio format. So that's where that feedback comes in, of you telling us what you need to hear or want to hear. It doesn't have to be a need. It can be a want, which is pretty much one and the same,
it's
right?
One and the same.
It's one and the same.
Yeah. If I want it, I need it.
Exactly. But anything else you can think of
before we go, I think we need to do one more.
That's true. I did think about this. We come alongside another organization, again, another resource called Colorado Visionaries. I think this is fantastic. Let me just read to you who they are. The Colorado Visionaries Blind Hockey Club is an inspiring organization that brings the fast pace of hockey to visually impaired, I would say low vision athletes, by adapting the game with specialized equipment and rules. This club creates a dynamic and inclusive environment where individuals with visual impairment or low vision can compete and thrive. The spirit of teamwork, resilience, and sportsmanship is alive and well in this community, showcasing the incredible capabilities of the athletes and unifying power of sport. Now, did you go with me when we went to the ice arena the one time?
I did not.
Oh my gosh. It was amazing. It was absolutely incredible. But some great people who are coming together. A lot of them are volunteers. That's how they run Colorado Visionaries. But they have different practice dates that you can come. It's all at Big Bear. So there's different dates. And I wanted to give you at least her Facebook, Instagram, and their email. But in Facebook is Visionaries Blind Hockey. Instagram is Visionaries Blind Hockey, all one word. Their email is coloradovisionaries@gmail.com. They're looking for volunteers. If this is something you love, ice hockey, I'll tell you because I went to that event, right? And I honestly didn't know what they were going to be doing, but because there's a gentleman who, gosh, I forgot his name and I apologize for that, but he comes and teaches people how to skate and then how hockey's going to work as a blind or low vision participant. But what was so incredible was they asked Ralston High School, some young guys, probably like 15 of them, ages maybe 15 to 18, who play ice hockey all the time, to come and help. So they had some of them had their hockey uniforms on, they had their skates on, their helmets, and they would take a hockey stick and just get on the ice with a person of blind or low vision and just kind of guide them along. And I saw the faces of not only the young people, but I saw their parents on the side. Mm. Their parents were so excited for an opportunity for their young son to be a part of a community where they'd take something that they love so much, playing ice hockey, and help other people who are blind and low vision, who have probably been told you'll never do, or you'll never play, or you'll never be a part of something, and combine this together and give them an opportunity on the ice to skate and hit a hockey puck that I think makes noise. Mm-hmm. It's kind of bigger and it makes noise, so that you can hear it while it's on the ice and as it's coming to you or as it's going away from you. What an incredible opportunity. So some of those things. So you can go on Facebook, Instagram, or their email to find out how you can be a part of. They have a lot of openings for a coordinator, some managers, whether you're communicating, they need a volunteer. They do have a volunteer coordinator, but they need people to reach out to the high schools. Hey, young people, this is an opportunity for you to be involved in this community.
Or just to get their calendar.
Exactly.
To see when you can just drop in and see if it's something that sparks you. I cannot ice skate. I can barely walk up the stairs without tripping. So me on ice skates is probably not going to work.
No? Okay.
They'll spend most of their time lifting me up off their skates, off the skates, off the ice, should say. So yes, I would be there to watch wholeheartedly and cheering people on.
Well, and then I didn't think my plan was not to be on the ice, but they're like, we need a translator in Spanish. And Penn goes, Jennifer does. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm putting on my skates. I have never worn ice hockey skates ever.
I have. That's why I know.
Oh my gosh. But it was so much fun. I didn't fall. I was able to help translate so that she could experience the ice in another language, having a translation. It was so much fun. So there are opportunities across the board, whether it's just encouragement, speaking another language, being on the ice, helping coordinate, calling people, and handing out brochures or flyers.
And being around people. Of all ages.
Right. So Colorado Visionaries. Okay, so just remember that.
And remember Colorado Views.
Yes, Colorado Views. That's us.
Too.
All right. Anything else we want to cover today?
No, I think I'm good.
I'm good too. Well, fortunately, we had some notes to help us along the way as well. But thank you so much for joining us today. Again, please let us know how we can improve, things that you would love to see covered. If you want to be on our show, Colorado Views.
Exactly.
Feedback at aftersight.org.
Let us know. We'd love to have you.
We're so excited. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.